Seriously, no, this isn't a matter of me hating Christians. If you're God, if you really believe that your God is sending good people, good, decent people to eternal, or anybody for that matter, to eternal suffering, like eternal torture, you're God, okay? He's not mine. So if you're Christian or religious of any sort of, really, we have to contend with the idea of the afterlife. And most versions of the afterlife have some sort of hell, right? There's a place that you go to that is bad, that is eternal, that is suffering, and you really don't want to think of your loved ones going there, right? And especially for Christians, because I used to be Christian. Christians believe that going to hell is inevitable if you don't, well, at least many Christians believe. Going to hell is inevitable if you don't believe in Jesus and God, right? And so a lot of Christians, especially fundamentalist Christians, have a tough time contending with that because they have loved ones who are atheists or different religions or veer off from Christianity or whatever else, who they sincerely believe are going to hell. I don't believe my religion even has a hell. Well, that's good. That's good. I think the idea of hell is very toxic. I think that that's where a lot of problems with religion stem from. But yeah, this person, Mike Winger, contends with that, saying it's hard to think of my loved ones in hell. And I agree. I think that's a very difficult thing to contend with if you're a Christian or any religious denomination that believes in some sort of hell. So this is about a 5-minute video. I would like to see what Mike Winger has to say about this. I think it'll be a very interesting discussion. I don't know Mike Winger at all, but I was told that this would be good content. So let's take a look at what we got. This was a content suggestion, by the way, posted in the Discord server. You too can join the Discord server through the YouTube description link and post content that you think would be good to go over in chat. Or sorry, in stream. Okay? So there you go. All right, let's get started.
I'm the only Christian in my whole biological family. How do I not despair at the fact that they're all headed to hell as it stands? It's leading me to doubt the goodness of God. Wow, Sean. Thank you for the sincerity of your question. And just so you know, I don't.
Okay, so this is going to be a question. I thought this was going to be this guy asking the question, but Mike Winger here. Let's take a real quick look at Mike Winger and what he's about. Mike Winger. You will learn to think biblically about everything so you can deal with false teaching, know what scripture says about specific issues, prove Christianity is true. Okay, so yeah, he's a Christian zealot. Christian zealot, it seems like. We won't say zealot just yet. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's just say Christian. He's a hardline Christian. Let's just say that, okay? Let's take a look at what he has to say to this person who is having a hard time contending with the idea of their loved ones in hell.
I'm not responding weird to it at all. It's not totally unlike my situation growing up. I was the only Christian, only person I would consider a genuine Christian that was part of my close family.
Nerd. Just saying.
And that was discouraging. But it didn't stay that way, thank God. But there's two issues here. One is just you feeling sorrowful about the fate of your family, and the other is you actually thinking it's making me doubt God's goodness. That's a struggle questions. I think a lot of Christians have felt when they think of someone they love and care about, and they think, but I don't think that person's saved. I think a lot of the viewers, people watching this, you feel that too, and I can say a few things that, you know, do I have like the magic bullet that's going to fix this? I doubt it, but maybe I'll say a few things that I think help me.
Okay.
And genuinely do help me. And one.
Yes, how can I contend with the fact, as a Christian, right, if I were a Christian, that all of my loved ones who don't believe in Christ are going to hell, right? How do I contend with that fact? Let's take a look.
One of them is just the advice of wait. You don't yet understand.
What is that spelling? What are you doing, YouTube auto caption? What the f is a wait? Obsolete spelling of wait. W-E-I-G-H-T. Thanks, YouTube.
Goodness of God in relation to his judgment of sin and his punishment of sinners. You don't yet understand that. But you will. You just have to wait. There's this amazing passage in Revelation.
What you don't get it, bro. You don't get it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason that your loved ones and family are going to hell to suffer for all eternity, including your child who's estranged from you and won't call you anymore because they're atheist, and you keep trying to evangelize to them about why they should be Christian, right? And why they're actually going to hell if they don't become Christians. Your child is going to hell. But trust me and trust God. Just trust us, bro. Just trust us. There's a reason for it, okay? There's a reason for it.
19. Where
amazing passage.
They're actually praising God for his judgment on the Great Babylon, right? And he's punishing them and punishing the wicked, and the saints are worshiping God because his judgments are.
Now, if I recall correctly, Babylon, God punished them because they built a very tall tower. Is that right? They built a very tall building, and God was like, ain't having that, bro. And then he destroyed it and made them suffer, right? I believe that's what happened. Trust the plan. Just trust the plan, bro. Just trust. I hope nothing real bad happens to non-believers. I'm still trying to establish my beliefs. If you think that bad things happen to people who are not bad, I'm sorry, but that is a bad belief to have. Okay, so my version of Christianity right before I left was this, and I think this is fine. If you are a person who lives your life decently and loves your neighbor as you love yourself, right? If you truly do, like, if you are a good person, you're going to heaven. If you're a good person, you're going to heaven. I also thought that hell was just a bad idea in general, and I didn't really, I stopped believing in it as a concept, or at least that it was temporary, at the very least. If you think that hell's temporary, I think that's fine. If you think that purgatory exists, I think that's fine. I think purgatory is a better idea than hell, personally. I'm personally from a Catholic family, and I think purgatory is better. But I don't think that it should be hinging on whether or not you believe in God. You know what I mean? Just because I believe something, I might still disagree with it. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. I mean, if you believe... Okay, so here's the thing. If you believe that we live in a universe with a God, and you think that that God sends good people to hell, wage war on God. All right? I'm taking that line from actual Jake. Wage war on God. Because he deserves it, okay? He is not worthy of worship if he sends good people to eternal suffering. That's just the fact. I'm not going to back off of that, okay? I know that I said I was going to backtrack a little bit on hating on Christianity. I don't think this is hating on Christianity. I think that's just a fact. If you think that God sends good people to eternal suffering, or even bad people for that matter, but let's say good people for all intents and purposes, good, decent people to hell for all eternity because they did not believe in him, you believe in a bad God. Okay, and I don't like your belief, and I will stand by that. I missed him and thought I had to grind souls to get to the next area after the blacksmith, so I ventured to the beginning and found him by chance going back upwards. Are you talking about Dark Souls? Oh, y'all are talking about Dark Souls. Shut the fuck up.
Good. In fact, this is what Psalm 119 says. Your judgments are just
I was like, I thought you were
true,
talking about God.
And they're pure. Like, God's judgments are actually good. Well, Revelation, here's why it's so encouraging to me. This passage comes at a time when the saints are standing and beholding the judgment of God, but they're also beholding...
I need to go back and see the passage again.
Psalm 119 says, your judgments are just and true, and they're pure. Like, God's judgments are actually good.
So this sounds like it's coming from a place of whatever God says is good, regardless of how bad it actually is. This would be like asking somebody, if God told you to kill somebody, would you do it, right? The answer is no. If God told you to kill somebody, the correct answer is no, you would not. Okay? If your answer is anything but that, then I'm sorry, but you're a little lost in the sauce. Okay? If God tells you to kill somebody, you say no. Unless that person is like literally in the process of committing some atrocious crime, right? Like there are reasons to kill, but it's pretty much always in self-defense or the defense of other people. If God tells you to kill somebody in any other circumstance, you say no.
Well, Revelation, here's why it's so
Rise up
encouraging
and fight
to me.
God,
This
yes.
passage comes
Anime
at a
protagonist
time
mode.
when the saints are standing and beholding the judgment of God, but they're also beholding the God who is judge. And when they see not just their mental image of a wrathful God beating up on people, but they see the true, righteous, pure, perfect, holy God.
So they delude themselves because that's what God is doing. He's beating up on people who did nothing wrong. They built a very tall building. That's what they did in Babylon. They built a very tall building, and then God punished them. That's Babylon.
And they see perfect justice being meted out against
What
humans.
justice?
But they see this in the right context of God's holiness.
What?
They're actually praising God. What I'm saying is, you don't maybe get it now, but there's a day when you will get it, and all you have to do is wait.
Huh? Listen, if you don't get something right now, you should question it. If there's a reason that God is doing something, he should explain that shit to you, okay? Maybe his reasoning is, like in the case of Babylon, I don't like that you're building a very tall tower because I feel like you're trying to reach me, quote unquote, right? Like, I feel like you're trying to subvert my greatness. And that's just not acceptable. Like, you can't just kill people because you're upset that they're building a very tall tower. Okay, that's not a matter of just waiting and seeing and understanding later. Okay, all he's saying to this person, remember the original question was, how do I contend with the fact that my loved ones are going to hell? That's essentially the question, that it's hard to think of my loved ones in hell. And that's a very valid question. And all he's saying is, well, bro, you just got to trust the system, bro. You got to trust God, that he knows what's right and what to do, right? And I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. If your God is sending people that you love and you know are good people to eternal suffering, then f*** your God. F*** him. Seriously, no, this isn't a matter of me hating Christians. If your God, if you really believe that your God is sending good people, good, decent people to eternal, or anybody for that matter, to eternal suffering, like eternal torture, f*** your God. Okay? He's not mine.
All you have to do is wait, and you say, Lord, I don't understand this, but I trust you.
Nice,
I trust your
Mercury.
character, and I will choose to trust in your goodness and not try to make, and catch the silliness
That's
of
cuck
this
shit.
stuff. Not try to make
Absolute cuck shit. I reject this with my entire being. Sorry.
judgment calls on God's judgments. This is silly. We're setting ourselves up as the judge of God when we try to make judgment calls on God's judgment.
Oh, I love judging God. God has done horrific things if you were to believe the Bible. Remember that time he flooded the entire earth and killed like babies and shit? Yeah, I'll judge God. God deserves it.
So I encourage you, please don't do that. This is where you just have to simply look at yourself and say, if I disagree with God, I've got to be wrong somewhere. Like I don't know where yet. I'll find out later.
If you read the Bible, I've said this before. If you read the Bible from a literary analysis perspective and you come out the other end thinking that God is the good guy, something is intrinsically wrong with you, my friend. I'm sorry, but God is the bad guy in the Bible if you read it literally. Because the Bible says that God is omnipotent, all-knowing, all-loving, and all-powerful. And yet somehow he still finds it in himself to dick around with Adam and Eve with the tree in the middle of the garden, right? When they had no knowledge of good and evil. So that's one. Two, he killed a ton of people with the flood and with all kinds of other atrocities that he committed. He tricked Moses into thinking that he had to kill his own firstborn, okay? And it was like, no, bro, no, I was just kidding. Bro, it was a prank, bro. It was a prank. Trust me. No. Trust me, bro. It was a prank. You have to kill your kid. Listen, I know that I'm like all powerful and everything, and then I literally have the power to send you to eternal suffering and all that, but like, bro, it's just a prank, man. What, you're gonna kill your kid just because I said that? Come on, man. Like, he did that. And then on top of all that, he also tortured his son to death, all right? He tortured his son to death in the Bible. That is a thing that he did that he chose to do, okay? So if you come out of the Bible from a literary analysis, thinking that God is the good guy, you are a psycho. You're a psycho. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it.
But I've got to be way off base somewhere. It's like if I came up to someone who's building a wall and they're a master mason and I look at them and I'm like, what are you doing, man? That looks so weird. In my brain, I cannot understand any reason why you do that. It doesn't seem safe or wise.
Huh?
But there's a little part of me, a little voice in my head that says, Mike, you don't know anything about this wall or building walls. You just glanced at it and you
could ask. You could ask why they're building it, and then they would probably tell you why. Or it's just their right to build the wall, right? Unless they're doing it on public property. Ecclesiastes 3:3, a time to kill. Nice.
You made a judgment. This is the master mason. You should just let him do his job.
No. If somebody's building a wall out in the public and like it's impeding upon my, like, here's a good, I think this is a very good point of comparison actually. Because let's consider this. Let's say that you're traveling to work, right? Let's say you're driving to work and somebody is in the middle of the road building a wall. They're just sitting there sculpting it, right? They're just sitting there sculpting it, and you have to stop and you have to be like, dude, and you honk your horn. You stick your out of the, why the are you building a wall in the middle of the highway? I'm trying to get to work here. And the guy's like, I'm the master mason. You have to trust my judgment. You must trust my judgment. I'm the master mason. I've been recognized by institutions all over the world. You must trust my judgment. This wall must be built. And you say, oh, the master mason, I apologize. Okay, clearly you have a good reason, right? Why are you building this wall? And they say, well, you just have to trust me. This wall is very important. You have to trust me on this. Are you going to accept that? I think not. I'm trying to get to work, motherfucker. I'm not sitting here and letting you build this wall without you explaining to me why the you're building it. I don't give a shit what master mason you are. You can still make the dumbass decision to build a wall in the middle of the highway. I gotta get to work, damn it. That's all I'm saying. All right? Yeah, trust me, bro. I'm sorry. And if you want to relate this to God and how he interferes with the lives of other people, imagine being gay. Or maybe you are gay, okay? I've heard that they exist. Perhaps in my audience even. If you're gay or trans and then God tells you, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. You're just supposed to trust him somehow. For some reason. You're not doing anything wrong except for being gay or trans. And that's not even wrong, okay? Just that God says it is, and he says don't do that. And you're just supposed to trust him. I think not. He better give you a good, solid reason, okay? That's all I'm saying.
God is the ultimate righteous, perfect, pure judge.
I'm on my way to
Let him do
work.
his job. You share with your family when you can. Preach the gospel to them as much as you're able to, with wisdom and knowing like strategy and tactic and about how to try to keep those doors open wherever possible and be invitational, be when necessary confrontational, never reactionary, always loving, but full of courage. All those things.
You're reactionary by default when you're telling people not to be gay or trans, or when telling them you have to believe in God. That is reactionary by default. Sorry.
But ultimately, trust God and just wait. He's going to judge perfectly and righteously. And there's a time coming where, as shocking as this may sound,
it's what you think is perfect. It's what you think is perfect. That doesn't mean it's fucking perfect. You just trust God because you're a cuck. Okay? You have no reason to trust him. You just do. It's cuck shit.
To somebody, I think it'll be comforting to others when they will look at the fact that God has judged even.
He's sending your family to hell, man. You said it. You said it. He's sending your family to hell, and you're just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's all good. He knows best, I guess, right? No, f that. I love my family. Well, I have 5 brothers and sisters and a dad and a mom that I love very much. And if any of them go to eternal suffering, I'm going to look God in the face and say, f you. You. Okay? That's how much I love my family. How much do you love yours?
Even people they loved, they will look at it and go, wow, that was so hard for me to understand, but now I get it. Now I see your holiness, Lord, your goodness, your love.
Nope.
I see the love you have for them as well, but I also see their choices.
Part of your family values, by the way.
And I see that you've judged perfectly, and I say, praise you, Lord, for your righteousness.
I think not.
That time is coming.
If my God sends my loved ones to hell, I think not. I will say, f you, God, I'm waging war on you. I will wage war on you. I think the f not. That's just my 2 cents. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.